So good morning to everyone. I welcome you all on the platform of Careerville GS English. How are you all, and how's your preparation is going on? So hope you are doing well, and your study is also going to be well. And hope you have enjoyed all the sessions that I have just had conversation with you all. So let's confirm: am I audible and visible to everyone or not? Just let me know if I am audible and visible to everyone. So just I need to share this session with you all. Okay. So how are you all? Everything is fine. Everything is going on good. So as you all know, first of all, in this session we'll do some revision question that we have done in the previous class. Then we'll start with the new questions that maybe and also has been already asked in your previous examinations of SSC conducted by SSC in different exam, either CPO, CGL, MTS, CHSL, GD, any of them. So whatever the questions I am going to discuss with you all, that much and much beneficial for you everyone. Okay, so let's start this session. So first question, first of all, we'll revise that what we have discussed in the previous class. So the first question is on your screen. Just tell the answer. What happens to the quantity supplied when the price of good increases? Ceteris paribus. That I already told you the meaning of ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means other things remaining constant, only there is a change in only a single variable, like that is like in supply there is only a price, right? So ceteris paribus, that actually means what happens to the quantity supplied? It will be decreases or increases or remains constant or becomes zero when the price of the good increases. So as I've already told you, whenever the price will be increased of any commodity, the supply of that commodity, particular commodity, that will also be increased. So answer will be what? Increases, because the price of good is increases. As you all know why this happens, because at this point of time when the price of good increases, so it means every producer thought that now I am getting much profit comparatively before, so that is why he will try to sell more and more quantity of that commodity, so that he will get much and more profit. That is why answer will be increases. Now the question next will be, what is the law of supply? What do you mean by meaning the law of supply? What does it mean? What do you mean by law of supply? What do you mean by law of supply? So if anything has meaning a law, anything is mentioned as a law means what? It is universally applicable. In some cases there is some exceptional cases where doesn't apply these laws, but maximum of the cases it applies. Because so law of supply means what? There is a direct relationship between price and the quantity supplied. Direct relationship means what? There means positive relation. There is means positive relation. Positive relation means was what? Positive relation means what? When the price increases, quantity supplied will also be increases. Price decreases, quantity supplied will also be decreases. So this is the basic funda. This is the basic relationship between the quantity supplied and the price. Am I clear? So that is why the answer will be the direct relationship between price and quantity demand. Now to come to the next question. What is the supply curves typically slope? Downward sloping, it's upward sloping, or horizontal or vertical? Tell me. These questions already I have discussed with you all. Let's say this is origin, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is the curve of supply. So I just, if I ask to you what this curve is showing, it's upward sloping or downward sloping, or vertical or horizontal. So as you all know, I have made this curve from this point to this point. It means I just gone through like in a upward way. So this is a upward sloping, this is a upward sloping. Why this curve is like a upward sloping? If the question is asking why supply curve is upward sloping, so as you all know, there is a direct relationship between quantity and the price. If the price will increases, quantity will be also increase. Price will be increases, quantity this. Again price increases, now the quantity will be this. So quantity is increasing. Let's say this is a price, this is a quantity. So as price increasing, quantity is also increasing. That is why you are getting the upward sloping curve of supply curve. So answer will be what? Upward sloping. Am I clear? Am I clear or not? So this will be your right answer. Now come to the next question. What is the main determinant of supply? Price of the good, income of the consumer, technology, or all of the above? What is the main determinant of supply? Main determinant of supply. So as you all know, price also affects the supply curve. Income of the consumer also affects the supply curve. As I have already told you, if the income of consumer will rise, it means he will demand more, and when the demand will increase in the market, it means there will be increase in the price of that commodity also. It means what? If the price of commodity will rise, so what happens to the producer? Producer will supply more of that commodity, because as you all know, due to law of supply, if the price increases, the commodity supplied by the producer will also be increases, right? So this will means this would means what? This would means what? Income of the consumer increases, supply by the producer will also be increased due to increase in the price of that commodity. So that is why answer will be what? Income of the consumer also. And if there is a technology upgradation, right? Technology upgradation, so definitely will also be increase the supply, because if you are using the modern technology on the behalf of traditional technology, if you are using the modern technology, it means it will increase the output of that particular commodity. And if the output will be increased, so what happens to the producer? The producer will also supply more and more particular output. Good afternoon, love you to my brother, love you to my brother Shivam. Okay, clear? So this means what? This means what? All of the above will be your right answer. Main determinant of supply. These all the three options are correct in terms of determinants of law of supply. Am I clear? Now next question. What happens to the supply curve when production cost increases? Shift rightward, shift leftward, remain unchanged, or becomes vertical? So tell me, what happens to the supply curve when production cost increases? So as you all know, if the production cost increases, production cost, not I'm talking about the market price. There is a difference between market price and production cost. Market price or production cost means what? The cost, the expenses which is incurred on the made of these goods and services. Whatever the cost, whatever the expenses incurred on the production of these services or goods, right? If I have expenditure on this production of this marker, let's say 10 rupees. So 10 rupees is a cost of this marker. Is there any possibility that producer will sell this market at rupees 10? Definitely not, because he will also add the marginal profit also. Let's say 5 rupees. So the market price will be what? 15 rupees. The total expenses incurred on the production of this marker, this is rupees 10, which is known as cost. So cost is not anything, just it is a production cost, and rupees 5 is the marginal profit that has been added by the producer. Now the final price will be what? 15. It means what? This is a market price. Actually supply decreases or increases totally depends on this market price, what we see. But the question is asking about the if the production cost increases, so what you will able to see? If the production cost will be increased, so will, is there any possibility that producer will supply or producer will produce more of the goods? Definitely not. Definitely not now, right? If the production cost increases, if the production cost increases, he will try to decrease the production of that particular good, and he will wait for that time when the production cost becomes cheaper, or you can say lower, then he will produce more. So it means what, the product, if the production cost increases, the supply will not be more, supply will be less. So that is why it will shift towards to the leftward, shift towards to the leftward. Let's say like this, like this. If let's say this is a supply, this is x-axis, y-axis 0, this is supply curve, let's say s. So if the supply decreases, it means it will shift toward to the less another supply curve, let's say name s1. Clear to everyone or not? Am I clear to everybody or not? Tell me, am I clear to everybody or not? Now come to the next question. What is the term for a situation where quantity supplied equals to quantity demanded? Here the quantity supplied is equals to quantity demanded. What that situation explains? Equilibrium. This situation is equilibrium, surplus, shortage, or disequilibrium? Tell me. And if anybody is new on this channel, so just let's subscribe this channel so that you can get all the updates of all the faculties classes. And also I am taking GS part of this economics, and you can also join this Telegram channel, Abhishek sir official, Abhishek sir official. You can join this Telegram channel so that you can get all the PDF notes, everything you can get it. Also I used to teach current affairs also, so you can also join this channel and get all the updates, PDF notes about current affairs, right? So now answer this question. So if I ask to you, what is this situation where the quantity demanded is equals to the quantity supplied? Let's say if consumer is demanding 100 units but producer is supplying only 80 units, is there any equilibrium between the quantity supplied and quantity demanded, or the quantity supplied? Not. So it means what, this is a situation of disequilibrium. This is a situation of disequilibrium where the supplied by the producer or demand by the consumer is not a same, not equal. This situation is not disequilibrium. Shortage means what? Shortage means what? The situation like this: if the supply is less, and demand is more, or demand is less or supply is more, this situation becomes the shortage, right? If the supply is more or the demand is less, supply is more, demand is less, this situation is a surplus. But this equilibrium means what? When there is a 100 units supply, 100 units demanded by the consumer, and same the 100 units supplied by the producer, this situation becomes the condition of equilibrium. So answer will be what? So answer will be what? Where the quantity supplied equals to the quantity demanded is known as equilibrium. Am I clear to everyone? Now let's move to the another question. What affects the supply of a good beside its price? What affects the supply of the goods beside its prices? So as you all know the meaning of law of supply, if the price increases, quantity supplied is also increases. Price decreases, quantity supplied also decreases. This is the basic condition of law of supply. This is the basic condition of law of supply. So tell me, here the question is not talking about the price. Here the question is talking about if there is a change in the technology, will it affect on the supply? If there is a change in the input prices, not prices, there is a difference between input prices. Input prices means what? Cost. That cost, that production cost means what? That talking about the input prices. Expectations means what? Is expectations also affect the quantity supplied by the producer? Yes, definitely it will affect. How? Let's say if the producer is expecting there may be the price of this good maybe rise in the future, so what he will do? He will try to stop the sale of their good or stop to supply more goods in the market at this point of time, and he will wait for that time when the price of will marker rise, and then he will supply more in the future, and he will stop at this point of time, because he will think what, why should I sell this marker at this point of time where I'm not getting much amount, and if and he is already expecting that I will get more and more amount in future. So he will do what, he will stop the quantity supply at this point of time, and wait for the future when the price of marker will rise. Am I clear or not? So it means what, supply will also be affected by the producer if he is expecting anything, and if he is thinking that the price of this marker will decrease in the future, so he will what, he will supply more at this point of time, because why he will sell or wait for the future, because he will get loss. So answer will be what, all of the above will be your right answer. Am I clear to everyone? Now answer this question. How do firms respond to an increase in price? Decrease production, increases production, keep production constant, or stop the production? Just answer me fast. Am I clear to everyone? Is there any issue? If you are facing, just tell me. Is there any student, if you are facing any issue, just tell me. Answer the question fast. Now the question is asking, how do firms respond to an increase in price? So as you all know, as I've already told you many times, that if there will be increase in the price, so there will be decrease in production, increase the production, keep production constant. So he will increase the production. Why? Because he will sell more. Why he will sell more? Because he will get more profit. Why he will get more profit? Because the prices of that particular good has been already increased. That already question mentioned this word, if there will be increase in the price. Clear? This is very easy question. Let's move to the another question. What type of goods have a derived supply? What type of goods have derived supply? Consumer goods, producer goods, luxury goods, or necessity goods? So it means the question is self saying what type of good which actually derive the meaning of supply, derive this supply. What type of goods this is? What type of good is this? So as you need to understand one thing, that there is a producer good, there is a producer good which have a derived supply. Next, what is the term for the quantity supplied at a specific price? Which term is we used the quantity supplied at a specific price? If at a specific price a producer is supplying any commodity, so what is that term? Supply schedule, supply curve, quantity supplied, or market supply? So as we all know, the term which is used by the producer, that is quantity supplied, right? So this is what we have discussed in the previous class. Now we'll start from the new questions. Am I clear to everyone? Should we move to the another question? Is there any doubt? If you are having any doubt, just let me know. Now the next question is what? Just tell me, what measures the responsiveness of quantity supply to changes in price? So what the question is asking, just try to understand very carefully. If there is change in price, if there is change in price, if there is change in price, either it increases or decreases, doesn't matter. If there is change in prices, so due to change in prices, there is a basic response, done by the producer. Either he will supply quantity more, either he will supply quantity less. At the time of increasing price, he will supply more. At the time of decreasing price, he will supply less of that particular quantity. Quantity supplied, not quantity demanded, right? So how much he will increase the quantity of supply, how much he will decrease the quantity of particular commodity, it actually happens. How much he will increase, it means he will talk about the measurement, magnitude, measure, magnitude, how much due to change in price, how much it is increasing and how much it is decreasing. It means what, this is what price elasticity of supply, price elasticity of supply. It means due to increase or decrease in price, how much quantity supplied by the producer increases or decreases or changes. This is what called price elasticity of supply, right? Now let's move to the another question. If now I have already told all the components of price elasticity of supply, right? So now tell me, if the elasticity of supply is greater than 1, if the elasticity of supply is greater than 1, the supply is what, perfectly inelastic, inelastic, elastic, or unit elastic? First of all, answer this question. You know the answer or you don't know the answer? Just first you need to attempt this question. You need to just attempt this question. Just you need to attempt this question. Now what the question is saying, the elasticity of supply is greater than 1, is it means what, I have told you these es means what, es is means what, elasticity of supply. Now elasticity of supply is greater than 1, it means what, elasticity of supply is greater than 1. Now first of all you need to understand there is, what do you mean by this perfectly inelastic? What do you mean by this perfectly inelastic? Perfectly inelastic means when es is equals to 0, when es is equals to 0, then this situation is known as perfectly inelastic. This situation is known as perfectly inelastic. Sir, what do you mean to say, what is the exact meaning of this perfectly inelastic? Perfectly inelastic means what, there is quantity is, the change in quantity is constant, there is change in quantity is constant, and only there is changes in price, only changes in price only. Change in quantity will be constant, change in quantity will be constant. Let's say if the prices of this market changes from 10 rupees to 15 rupees, still I am buying the same quantity that I was buying before. If the price of the marker decreases by 10 rupee 2 rupees and becomes final 8 rupees, the base price of this marker rupees 10, and now the prices decreases from 10 to 8, it means there is a decrement of 2 rupees in this marker. Still I am buying the same quantity that I was buying before, so I am not changing in the purchasing of this quantity. Still, like a producer, if there is increase in price or the decrease in price of this marker, producer is supplying still the same quantity. He's not changing any quantity, he's not changing any supply of quantity of any good. So if he's not changing the supply of commodity, it means what, there is a there is a constant, remain constant possibility of quantity of that particular good, so he will not supply more after the changing in the price, either the price is decreasing or increasing. So this situation is what, elasticity in supply is 0. Now what do you mean by this inelastic? Inelastic means what, when es is less than 1, es is less than 1, es less than 1 is, it means what, or you can say what do you mean by this inelastic? Inelastic means what, when there is a change in supply is less than change in the price. Let's say if there is an increase in the price of this marker by 10%, if the increase in the price of this marker by 10% due to change in the price of this marker, in this response the quantity supplied by the producer of mark producer of marker decreases by or not increases by, let's say, only 3%, 4%. Now I am asking to you, is there which is changing more in simple language, which variable is changing more? Price is changing more, or quantity supplied by the producer is changing more? So your answer will be what? Sir, price is changing 10%, quantity supplying by the producer is changing only 3 to 4%. So definitely, sir, there is changing more in the price and changing less in the quantity supplied. So this is what called the situation of inelastic, when there will be change in quantity supplied is less percentage, comparatively change in price by more percentage. So this situation is known as inelastic. This situation is known as inelastic. Now what does it mean elastic? Elastic means what? Thus just opposite. When es is greater than 1, it means what? When there is a change in quantity is more, change in quantity is more, there is a percentage of change in quantity is more, and the percentage of change in price is less. Let's say the price changes by 10%, but due to change in price, quantity supplied by the producer changes by 30%. If the price increases by 10%, he producer changes this quantity supplied by 30%. So this means what? There is more percentage change in the quantity supplied by a producer. So this will be the situation as es is greater than 1. Now what do you mean by this unit elastic? Unit elastic means what? When es is equals to 1. When es is equals to 1, es is equals to 1 means what? When there is a equal percentage change in quantity as well as equal percentage change in price. So let's say if there is change in price is 10%, in responsiveness of this change in price, quantity supplied by the producer is also changes by 10%. Same equal percentage change in price and the quantity supplied by producer. This means what? It will become, the answer is 1. This is situation of unit elastic. Let's say 10% change in 10% change in price, 10% change in quantity due to 10% change in price. So after the simplification you will get 1, because the es, the formula of es is what? Percentage change in quantity supplied, percentage change in percentage change in price. So percentage change in price was 10%, quantity supplied percentage change in 10%, so it will become 1. As you can do also these all the 4 options. So what will be your right answer? So what will be your right answer? Answer will be what? Elastic. Answer will be what? Elastic. When there is a es is greater than 1, es is greater than 1, so this is the situation of es is greater than 1. Now next question, what type of goods typically have inelastic supply? What type of goods typically have inelastic supply? What type of goods typically have inelastic supply? Inelastic supply. Perishable goods, luxury goods, necessity goods, goods with close substitutes. Close substitute means what? You understand? Close substitute, you understand or not? Just answer me fast. So first of all you need to understand one thing. What do you mean by this perishable goods? Perishable goods means what? When you use any good not have a very long term use, like milk, curd, or any goods which do not have long term use, right? That type of goods becomes in the perishable goods. We need to use these goods in very frequent manner, otherwise it will have a bad impact. So this what means perishable goods. Luxury goods, as you all know, very expensive type of goods. Necessity goods, which is a need of a person, very very necessary goods of that person. This is what necessity goods, which directly satisfy the human wants. Goods with the close substitute. Close substitute means what? When there is two goods which is very similar to each other, like uh, ball pen, gel pen, tea, coffee. These two goods are basically, these goods are very much similar. Maggie, yippee, noodles, Maggie. So these are totally just similar to each other. If there is a increase in the price of one good, there is a totally impact on the demand of or supply of another good. So this is what the availability of close substitutes. So what there is a goods typically have inelastic supply. So this is what perishable goods. Perishable goods, like you will not changes more in the quantity supplied by the producer. Producer will still supply uh, around similar quantity after the changing in price. So he will not just have a more effect on the quantity supplied after the changing in price. Am I clear? Because this is the perishable goods, he knows that everyone, he knows everything. If the price will be decreased, still the consumer will demand of that good. If the price will be increases, still the producer consumer will demand. Like milk, the prices of milk rises from 15 to 35 rupees. If any person was demanding milk, still he was paying 15 rupees, and now still he is demanding after the increasing of price from 15 to 35, still he is demanding. So from this point we can understand one thing, or producer also thinks this same thing. What? He knows everything. These perishable goods are still will be demanded after the increase or decrease in the price, right? So there is not much more impact on the supply by the producer after the changing in prices, right? So this will be your right answer, the perishable goods, right? Now how is elasticity of supply calculated? Percentage change in the quantity supplied, percentage change in the price, percentage change in the price, percentage change in the quantity supplied, change in quantity supplied, change in price, change in price, or change in quantity supplied. Very very important question, just I have told you all. Tell me. Tell me fast. What will be your right answer? So, as you all know, one thing, you need to understand one thing. So, as you all know, the how is elasticity of supply calculated? So, what is the meaning of elasticity? The percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price. So, due to change in price, it will impact on the quantity supplied. So, this is the exact formula. So in which option you are finding this exact formula? Percentage change in quantity supplied, percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price. So first option is very much correct. So this will be your right answer. So this will be your right answer. This will be your right answer. Am I clear or not? Now next question. What does a supply elasticity of zero indicate? Just I have told you. Just I have explained you each and everything. Just I have explained you. Answer this question fast. What does a supply elasticity of zero indicate? Perfectly elastic supply, perfectly inelastic supply, unit elastic supply, or elastic supply? So you need to one thing understand. You need to understand one thing, that what do you mean by this perfectly elastic supply? It means what? It means what? It is a situation of when es is 1 upon 0, or you can say indefinite, or you can say undefined. Undefined. Undefined means what? When there is a constant in price. Price is no change in price. No change in price. This is a situation what? No change in price, but quantity changes in undefined manner. Undefined manner. It means what? There is no change in the there is no change in the price. There is no change in the price, but still, because of not changing any price in the commodity, but still there is a changes in quantity supplied by a producer after the constant change in the prices. So this situation is known as perfectly elastic supply. This situation is known as perfectly elastic supply when there is a undefined. Es is equals to undefined. How much the quantity supplied by the producer will change, that we don't know. Perfectly inelastic supply means what? Perfectly inelastic means what? When there is a ed is equals to 0. It not, sorry, not ed, it's es is equals to 0. It means what? There is no change in the quantity after change in the price. There is constant change in the price. Now the next is what? Unit elastic. Unit elastic, as you all know, when es is equals to 1, equal percentage of change in quantity and the price. Elastic supply means what? When es is greater than 1, when the percentage of quantity supplied by a producer is more than the percentage of less change in the price of that particular commodity. So answer will be what? This one. Perfectly elastic of perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. This will be your right answer. This will be your right answer. Perfectly inelastic. This is a condition of when elasticity of supply is equals to 0. Right? It means there is no change in the quantity supply. There is no change in the quantity supplied. So quantity supplied is constant. Now the next question: which factor affects the elasticity of supply? Time period, mobility of factors, availability of substitutes, and or all of the above. Answer the question fast. Tell me fast. So answer will be what? All of the above. So as you all know, time period also affects the supply. Mobility of factors, as the factors changes, supply also changes. Availability of substitutes, how much the substitutes will be available, the quantity supplied will also be changed. So this will be your right answer. Next, what type of supply elasticity is represented? What type of supply elasticity is represented by horizontal supply curve? This question has been already asked in your SSC, CPO, and CGL. Horizontal supply curve. What type of supply elasticity is represented by horizontal supply curve? When the situation arises that horizontal. So first of all, you need to understand what does it means horizontal. What does it means horizontal? Let's say this is a supply curve. X axis, it's y axis, here it's 0. Let's say this is a supply curve. This is a basic supply curve, right? But now supply curve is in a horizontal shape. This is quantity, this is what? Price. So horizontal curve, horizontal like this one. So it means what? Price is constant, but quantity changes. Let's say this is q, again q1, quantity q3, q2, again Q3. So this is what quantity changes. This is what quantity changes. This is what quantity changes after the constant of price. There is no change in the price. Price is constant in every manner, but still the quantity is changing, right? So this is what the situation of ES is equals to what? Undefined. How much the quantity will change, that we don't know. That is totally undefined, or it will be called as infinite. So this is the situation of when there is perfectly elastic. When this is a situation of perfectly elastic. This is the situation of perfectly elastic. This is a situation of perfectly elastic. Have you got my point, what I just told you? This situation is known as perfectly elastic, and you all know the another meaning of another options also. It's inelastic, perfectly ES is equals to 0, ES is equals to 1, ES is greater less than 1, right? Now let's move to the another question. How does time period affect the supply elasticity? Longer time period move elastic, more elastic supply. Shorter time period more elastic supply. Time period doesn't affect supply elasticity, or none of the above. So what will be your right answer? Tell me fast. Tell me fast. So how does time period affect the supply elasticity? Shorter time period more elastic supply? Definitely not. In short term, producer never thinks to increase or decrease in the supply, right? He never thinks. He thinks to increase or decrease in the supply when there is a longer time period. When there is a longer time period, right? In shorter time period, he will never think. Time period doesn't affect the supply, that we cannot say, because time period actually it affects the supply. It affects the supply quantity supplied by the producer. It means we can say the C option will also be not there. None of the above is nothing. So A will be your right answer. A will be your right answer. So you need to understand all the options so that you can understand which options must be eliminated and which option must be right answer. Next, what does the supply elasticity of one indicate? So I have already told you what does it mean. What does the supply elasticity of one indicate? What does the supply elasticity of one indicate? So what it indicates the perfect unit elasticity, elastic supply. So as you all know, unit elastic means what? When ES is equals to 1 means what? How much the price percentage change in the price will exactly equal to the percentage change in the quantity. If the percentage change in price will decrease, exactly equal to the percentage change in quantity will also be decreased by the producer. So this is the situation of means what? Unit elastic, where the ES is equals to 1. ES is equals to 1. So this will be your right answer. Next, let's move to the another and last question, but not least. Which good is likely to have a more elastic supply? Agricultural goods, manufactured goods, perishable goods, or none of the above? So question is asking about the more elastic supply. This question has been already asked in your SSC MTS examination, right? So let's answer this question. So as you all know, the meaning of agricultural goods, produced by the farmers, or raw material, raw type goods. Manufactured goods means what? That any raw goods converted into the finished goods. Perishable goods means what? That uses for just short period of time, and none of these nothing. So what will be your right answer? What will be your right answer? So the answer will be what? Manufactured goods. Manufactured goods have the price of elastic, have a more elastic supply, have a more elastic supply, because I have already told you that manufactured good means what? Manufactured good means what? It means what? It is a type of final good, final goods, final goods. Manufactured goods means what? Final goods. Or we can say also, we can also say this one, he raw material type of goods, raw material goods converted into final goods, into final goods. So we can say that these goods already manufactured, this goods is already manufactured, and what we increase or decrease the supply, what actually we increase the quantity of supply or decrease the quantity of supply, we increase the quantity of supply, these final goods, which is also called the manufactured goods, right? So this actually affects the elasticity of supply, actually elasticity of supply affected by this type of goods, right? So this will be your right answer. So this is will this is a total whole PDF that we will be shared with you all on my Telegram channel. Hope you have enjoyed this session, and I have cleared all the concepts and all the options and all the uh, words, terms of economics explained very carefully and easily manner, so that you have proper understanding. So thank you so much all. We'll try to meet in the next session, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new on this channel. We are providing all the sessions totally be free of cost by all the faculties. And if you will subscribe this channel, and don't forget also to press the bell icon button, so that you will get all the notifications of other faculties also, and you should study all the topics of GS, either you are preparing for SSC or any of the examination, and you want to have a proper understanding of GS part, either it is polity, or it is geography, or it is economics or history, right? So you will be totally prepared by this channel. So this channel is a one-stop solution for you all. So let's meet in the another session, and don't forget to comment how much you have enjoyed this session, and don't forget to suggest your review in the comment box. Thank you so much you all. Meet you in the next session. Thank you so much. Take care. Jai Hind.